So we know all about immigration, but will people start to leave Canada? Are some of them leaving already? Look, I want to make this super, super clear. I love this country. I was born here. I've lived in almost every place across Canada. I've lived in British Columbia, Alberta, lived in Quebec, lived in Ontario. I visited everywhere. Like, not the Yukon and not the Rock. Love you guys in Newfoundland. But I'll get there someday. Don't worry. But I've lived everywhere. I've lived everywhere in Canada. I've visited everywhere in Canada. I know this country. I love this country. Love all of it. But why are people leaving? Because we're hearing more and more of this. It's simple. Because what's good for younger people isn't happening. Isn't not happening. Like, younger people need housing. Rents are through the roof. And houses are crazy prices. Crazy. It's still crazy. Come down a bit. Still crazy. Rates are high. Mortgage rates are still high. Young people can't afford to buy. And look, it's not like wages are glorious in Canada. Like, for entry-level positions, wages are not great. Wages have been stagnant. Inflation eats into all kinds of costs. Like, the bottom line is, a lot of young people in Canada don't see the viability of their future here. They think, hey, the boomers sold us out. Like me, I'm a boomer, okay? They sold us out. And they're sitting pretty with multi-million-dollar homes. They've done really well. They've seen great equity growth. They've done good. But maybe I need to go somewhere else. Do I need to be in Latin America? Do I need to be in Europe? Do I need to be in Asia? Like, some place where a person can buy a house, have affordable things, and live comfortably. Not just slave to pay bills, pay taxes, and everything else. So let's just get this clear. I'm not talking about everybody. Obviously not, okay? Some people are very tied to the country. Some people are very tied to their jobs to the country. But there's a lot of jobs you can do outside of Canada. And let's also respect this. Some immigrants, recent immigrants to Canada, just said, no, this is crazy. The price of houses through the roof. The rents are nuts. Incomes are okay compared with my home country, but it's just too hard. It's just too hard. And taxes. Like, let's just be honest about this. Canada is a highly taxed country. Now, I don't just want this to sound like I'm just dumping on Canada, but we've got to realize there's been some failures here. Failures in leadership, failures in government, failures in how we've handled these obvious crises that we are confronted with. Like, how could we be promising to build extra homes for 10 years? There are no extra homes. Prices just go up. Fewer homes are being built this year. Fewer homes were built last year. Like, there is no eminent reason why a young person, a person in their 20s, a person in their 30s, would think that suddenly this is going to turn around. There's literally no reason for them to think that. So when you hear about people saying, I think I could do this job from a nice place in Costa Rica, or I could do this job from somewhere in Panama, or there's a place in Portugal that might suit my needs and I can still do my digital work from there. They're not just talking through their hat. They're not just making it up. They might be legitimately considering that kind of a move. So here's the thing. And again, underline this. I love this country, and this country has done well by me. But for heaven's sakes, we have to think harder about this. I never used to hear anybody ever suggest they would leave this country. Not ever. Some people got a job offer in the States. That's fine. Company transfer. We get it. You may come back. I've never heard people say, I just think I should get out of Dodge because it doesn't work for me. I haven't heard that before in all my 66 years. This is something new. This is something awful. Giving up on the country you're born in because it's unaffordable and you don't see the future you want is terrible. And It can be turned around. There's got to be ways to solve it. We've solved a ton of things. We just have to realize new leadership. Get rid of the old ideas. We got to do something about the bureaucracy. We got to find some ways to tear this up and make sure we have a fresh start so that our young people don't think life is better in Costa Rica. That's not right. It's not sensible. We shouldn't be hearing this. Let's do better.